gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble! This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Montana looking, wrong in the end zone. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
There we go. Oh, welcome back. This is Sports and Sorts, episode 178. It's a Friday morning, and we're going
A good Friday morning.
A good Friday morning, and we go live usually on Monday or Friday or Saturday. Monday, Friday, or Saturday. That's the days that we go live, 10-ish. Today we're going a little bit later. There's some things going on. So we had to go live a little bit later. So if you want to be notified, go ahead and hit that notification bell, that little tiny bell. You hit that bell and it'll remind you when we go live. You can also subscribe and it'll go to your email, all that kind of fun stuff. You can also help us by liking our videos, by giving them a thumbs up, or of course, clicking that subscribe button. That subscribe button helps us. You can also find Sports and Sorts anywhere podcasts are played, www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. And of course, I am one of your hosts. My name is Shane.
And I'm the Brian Man.
And you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Shane and the Brian Man, or on Twitter at Shane and Brian Man, where we post all of our videos, other newsworthy topics. And if you comment during the show, we will put it up on the screen.
Anything you put on that screen, we will read.
Got a great show. Let's go.
You are listening to Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bry Man.
Oh, Brian Man. So today we are going to be talking about the NBA playoffs a little bit. Talk about the state of the Yankees. They're not playing well. And then we will be talking also about the we will be talking about the Hobbs and what is it? Hobbs and Roy?
Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Roy.
Hobbs and Roy. Hobbs and Shaw.
So anyway, we'll be talking about all of that and more. Probably. I'm just going to assume that it's going to be more because we usually end up getting off the topic a little bit at some point in time. And who knows? If somebody posts something in the comments, we'll get it on there. We'll probably talk about that too. We'll see.
You know what's funny? I want to bring something up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just based on the Hobbs and Roy thing. So, you know who Jamel Hill is, right? She used to be with ESPN and Michael Smith. They did that show. I forgot what it was called, but I actually used to watch it a lot.
Yeah.
But she put up an interesting Twitter question. I think it was either yesterday or this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, what's your biggest what if in sports movies? And for her, it was like, what if Apollo Creed didn't die? And I responded with like two different ones. So speaking of the Hobbs and Roy thing, I said, what if Roy Hobbs didn't get shot? And then my other one was, what if David Dunn didn't fake injury in a car crash and decided to play football? And, David Dunn, of course, is from, the movie Unbreakable. That's Bruce Willis's character. As you remember, he was a football player, like a highly touted scholarship football player. And he didn't want to play football, so he faked an injury in the car crash, which he obviously didn't get hurt in, but because he's, a superhero.
Yes. Super strong.
Yeah. Except he doesn't do well with water, but
he's got to start taking some swim lessons at the Y.
What is it with M. Night? What is it with M. Night Shyamalan movies and like heroes and aliens being afraid of water?
My guess is he's terrified of water.
Yeah, he must have some. There's got to be some subliminal issues going on.
Although in the last Airbender, there was the water, person who could manipulate the water.
I suppose. I suppose. I mean, I hardly remember that movie.
You should. It's great. It's spectacular. It's one of his best.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. NBA playoffs first. Let's talk NBA playoffs first.
Let's hit that music.
What music?
That.
Yeah. Sorry, I had it on mute for some reason. I don't know why. So anyway, NBA playoffs are happening right now. Things are going pretty much as expected. I mean, for the most part. I mean, the Warriors did not have the same season as they had in previous seasons. They lost a lot more than you would think. But, you know, they did. They lost the game, came back, and showed the Clippers who they really are. So that was interesting to watch a little bit last night. The more that Kevin Durant is on the Warriors, the less I like him. Just the way he acts is just...
He's not likable.
No, and he was before. He really was. And now he's just not. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but you know, they lost to DeMarcus Cousins. Looks like he's going to be out possibly for the rest of the year with a quad injury. He's out indefinitely, so we have no idea how long it's going to last.
Yeah, I don't know how much that hurts them either. I mean, I think it hurts them in depth, but
he was their number one, I think, rebounder. He was putting up some points too. But.
Well, you know what's interesting about it too is that this is the first year, probably since the beginning of this Warriors dynasty, where you felt like they were at their most vulnerable. But even with this injury, I still feel like it's one that they can sustain and still win an NBA title. It might be a little harder than normal, but I don't know. Because, look, the way that this Warriors dynasty is going is pretty much the way you would expect it to go. And this is what happens with a lot of dynasties. As you get towards the end, it gets harder and harder to win. Now, we saw this even with the Yankees. In 96, they got there and they won, and it was sort of unexpected. 98 and 99, they were absolutely dominant teams. Mm-hmm. 2000, they limped into the playoffs, and they won 87 games in that regular season. And the only reason, that they won that division was because the Red Sox were just not good enough to keep up.
Right.
And it was just a bad division. But then, boom, postseason starts, you flip the switch, and the Yankees are the Yankees again. And I think that's kind of what's going on with the Warriors, too. Like, you can see, they're up 2-1 in this series with the Clippers, and they're going to beat the Clippers. And maybe this series will be easy, but every series is going to get harder for them. It's just going to get harder. And it's not because they've lost any talent really significantly. It's just that the league eventually catches up to you. Coaches, when you play in enough playoff games and you play in enough postseasons as they have, there's a lot of film out there on you, and teams can study up. Teams can start to figure out ways to attack you. It's not easy because, again, the talent is just unbelievable. Durant and Thompson and Curry and Green and Boogie and a great coach who's been through his share of postseasons and played in postseasons and won as a coach at a postseason. It's just a lot to topple. But at the same time, again, there's a lot of film on these guys. You can study up on them, and they're a little more vulnerable than they've been. That being said, I'm sticking by what I said at the beginning of the season, which is I just don't see any scenario under which they don't win another championship, unless a guy like one of those two, like Durant or Curry, goes down. Then it's completely, then at that point I would say they're ripe for the picking. But Boogie going down, as tough as it is, yes, as good as he's been, I don't know. They didn't have him before in any of their other runs, so why can't they still win without him?
I just think it's different when you have somebody for such a long time and then you lose them. You then you have to revert back to your old play, and do you remember that as well as what you've been working on all season? So it's a little different. It's a little different, but at the same time, they're going to get by the first round. That is a guarantee. The second round is where it's going to become difficult because the Houston Rockets are playing pretty darn well. They didn't just win, but they stomped the Jazz. They should, but at the same time, you could say that about a lot of teams in the first round. They should be stomping these teams. And the Rockets, as long as CP3 is healthy and as long as Harden's healthy, they can put points up on the board, and they can do...
It should be in the Western Conference Finals.
And they can do what they need to do, which is play. But they have to play the Warriors in the second round.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
they would. Oh,
so
man.
it's the Warriors are the number 1 seed.
That's right, because
they're 4 seed.
Because the Rockets are the 4 seed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And right now, the Trailblazers are. They're putting it to the Thunder, which is good because I always like to see Russ be knocked out in the first round, second round at the latest.
Be gone.
So it'll be good to see if the Trailblazers can, actually keep this up and keep it going because I love Damian Lillard. I think he's just a very underrated talent. Like I've mentioned before, I have some of his basketball sneakers, and I just think he's a really good talent.
He is.
He performed really well in the All-Star game this year. I really hope that they can continue to play at this high level. I would say that they are a sleeper right now as to going to the conference finals.
Portland?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that, they could easily match up with the Spurs. If the Spurs end up winning, they can match up with the Nuggets if they end up winning. So it's a good situation for the Trailblazers. But at the same time, right now, the favorites are either the Warriors or the Rockets. And it'll be the matchup that everybody's looking to see in the Western Conference right now is going to be the Warriors versus the Rockets based on what happened last year. Granted, the teams are a little bit different, but the Rockets seem like they have kind of put it together and they are just absolutely scoring in bunches like they do. But they seem like they're playing defense a little bit better than they have in the past too. So we'll see how this goes. I'll be very interested to see how they decide to cover Durant and who's going to cover Durant because Durant is just a guy who can pretty much score on anybody. Right. He has a hard time with Beverly from time to time because Beverly is he's one of those guys that's annoying. He's a gnat. He's all over you. He's just kind of like constantly in your shirt and around you and stuff like that. And if the refs are like yesterday's game where they are calling everything, that helps out the Warriors because Beverly will be out of the lineup real quick with way too many fouls. So I don't know. This is a situation where I'm excited for the first round. I mean, as of right now, 76ers, they lost to Brooklyn once, which is weird. I can't believe that happened. The Raptors lost to Orlando. The Bucks are just going to absolutely stomp the Pistons. That's just ridiculous. And the Celtics seem to be getting it together. Kyrie seems to be putting the team on his shoulders for the most part. I mean, Tatum had a good game too, but I think the Celtics, they should kind of roll through the Pacers. I can't wait to see the Celtics play the Bucks though, because the Bucks have Giannis obviously, and the Celtics have a team. That's how they play basketball, as a team. Yep. And it's a little different this year because now they have that number one go-to guy. Last year they didn't really have that when they were in the playoffs because Kyrie was hurt. Yeah. This year they have the number one go-to guy. Can that still translate into a deep playoff run? I think so. I think that they will figure out a way to cover Giannis. I think that's what Brad Stevens does so well. And I think he will help this team move on. And I think that you're going to see the Celtics in the conference finals. The tough one is who's going to be there in the East with them. Is it going to be the 76ers or the Raptors? Will the Raptors finally get over the hump? Yeah. Now that they don't have to go against LeBron, and will the 76ers, take it to them? But it's going to be very interesting. Very interesting to see how this plays out. I'm super excited for particularly the second round in the playoffs when it's going to start getting a little bit more. Yeah,
business picks up in the second round.
Absolutely.
I'm a little bit afraid, to be honest, of the Celtics because I have this horrible fear right now of a Boston sweep in the 4 major sports. Yeah. Because the Celtics, again, with the Warriors being vulnerable, the Celtics could win a championship this year, and the Bruins in hockey are a very good team. They're tied right now 2-2 with the Maple Leafs. So I would like for the Maple Leafs
3 and 1. Yeah. Or 4? Actually, it's a 4.
No, that's what I'm talking about. 4. Oh. Yeah, I'm talking about a sweep, which would just be a nightmare. Yeah, but the absolute. But I'm talking. Okay. Because it's 2018.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is still the for NBA
2018-19 season.
It is though. Yeah. It's still so that I just want to avoid. You can call it a Tiger Slam if you want. I just want to avoid.
That is what
Boston
I would call
teams winning in a calendar year. That's a disaster.
Call it the New England Slam.
Yeah, I don't. That's a disaster. That is an absolute disaster because as it is, Boston fans are a bear to live with. There'll be no living with them if they won a calendar slam of championships.
Time to move.
Oh my God, good Lord! But But yeah, look, and I just wanted to briefly mention the Spurs because I will tell you that, and I'm not sure that I still expect the Spurs to win this series. Denver is still a good team.
You know what I wish I had? I wish I had the NBA jams. You know, he's on fire. Like White
He's
was on
heating
fire.
up.
White was on fire.
I'll tell you what, Derek White, it fascinates me. He reminds me, and I swear, this is the kind of thing where it could either drive Greg Popovich to stay on for like another 5 years, or it could drive him to drink. Because Derek White reminds me so much, especially just in terms of the raw talent and the recklessness of a young Tony Parker. And if you're a Spurs fan, you know the relationship between Tony Parker and Greg Popovich as it started from start to finish, especially in those early years, was very contentious because Parker was just like this rabid animal who was really hard to contain, and Pop really had to rein him in and really had to mentor him and really, he had to help him mature as a player. And I can see that maybe being a case here with Derek White because he seems to have a little of that in him, which I love, by the way.
Yeah.
As a fan, you like that. You like guys who have raw talent that maybe need to be tamed a little bit because he's got, what they call the dog in him, and you like that. You like that from players. You like that kind of fire. And I see that a lot with Derek White. And Derek White picked a really good night last night to have his career high in points at 36 against, again, this is a very good Denver team. It was big that the Spurs went in and stole Game 1 in Denver, and now they have home court, for the remainder of this series. So I still think the Spurs need to take care of business. I think tomorrow night you really want them to go up 3-1 because that at least guarantees you getting back to San Antonio.
Cool.
If it goes 2-2, then I can see it being like a home thing and then maybe losing in 7, which I don't want.
Right.
But I will tell you this, as a Spurs fan, I'm very excited for the future because the script on this year would have been so different if DeJounte Murray did not suffer an ACL tear at the beginning of the season, because you would have had an unbelievable backcourt with Derek White and DeJounte Murray, and then you would have had DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. Yeah. I mean, man, that would have been a stacked team. And
then, of course, you have the leader, which is Pop.
And Pop. Yeah, and you have arguably the best coach in all of sports. Yeah. So, I mean, I'll tell you what. I think Pop looks at this team, and he probably thinks, like, you know what, we're not going to win this year. But you know what? Next year, we could be a scary team. Mm-hmm. If Murray is healthy and Derek White is maybe what you think he can be, and you've got this backcourt with Aldridge and DeRozan, obviously some of the bench players, guys like Rudy Gay, I would not suspect would maybe be on this team last year, but I love Patty Mills. Patty Mills is he didn't score at all last night, but Patty Mills is one of those guys who's hit a lot of big shots. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what to think about guys like Bryn Forbes or Poltel, their 7-foot monstrous Goonie looking center. Those are all kind of, they're filler players, but I will tell you though, Murray, White, Aldridge, and DeRozan could be a really big 4. I still like Marco Bellinelli. I was so glad when they got Bellinelli back because I really like him. He can be a very deadly and hot shooter if he gets going. So I like him on the bench. I like Patty Mills on the bench. I mean, I love Rudy Gay coming off the bench. I don't know how much longer Rudy Gay is with the team. I'm not sure what his contract is. But even Rudy Gay is just one of those guys. Like even last night, he gave them 11 points. He scores almost without trying. He's just a scorer. He is a scoring machine kind of guy. And if he played a full, if they played him, I don't know that his body could take that anymore, but if he played a full 35 to 40 minutes, he would score 25 every game. He's just that kind of guy. He's just a scorer. He's a pure scorer. But I like what I see for the future of the Spurs team. I don't think anything special is going to happen this year. It just the writing's not really on the wall for that. But next year, with a healthy backcourt of Murray and White, I would have some expectations for that team next year.
Yeah, Rudy Gay is he is a unrestricted free agent next year. So it depends. I mean, it depends on what he wants. I mean, a lot of guys, especially when they're getting in their 30s, like he's going to be 33 next year. There's a chance that to play with Pop, to play with this team, to keep going, to make sure you're going to go deep into the playoffs. Yeah, have a chance at a championship.
There is no doubt next year that the Spurs as long as those 4 guys are still on this team, they are not a bottom half seed team. They're a top half seed team.
Yeah.
They're a 1 to 4 seed.
Yeah. 4 and above. Yeah.
Yeah. If Murray's healthy and back next year, they're a 1 to 4 seed.
All right.
Without.
All right, so that's pretty much it for the NBA playoffs. I mean, if you have anything that you want to say about that, just go ahead and sound off in the comments, or go post it in the comments after the fact, and we'll have a little back and forth. But as of right now, I mean, I think the first round, the top seeds are gonna kind of roll through. I mean, not roll through, but they are going to get through. I mean, particularly the Warriors, the Rockets, the Sixers, the Raptors. I expect the Raptors to kind of.
So do I.
Yeah,
so do
I mean, Kawhi, he proved. He went 37.
Oh yeah,
he went bananas. I mean, he was raining threes, and when he is one of the best players in the game,
without
and
doubt.
if he can play like that at this level, I don't expect the Raptors to. They're going to get to the second round. It's just a matter that the second round is going to be tough because the 76ers are no joke. But should we move on to the state of the Yankees?
The state of the Yankees.
I'm going to see them play tomorrow, barring the weather, of course.
I'm going to see the Mets on Monday.
Are you really?
When Bryce Harper rolls into town, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to see the Mets play at some point in time this year. My daughter, because of her heart issue, she is having. There's some kind of thing that they're allowing the kids to kind of go on the stadium field and everything like that, and she's going to go. So we're going to go to City Field for that.
That's awesome.
I can't even remember who they're playing at the time, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. I've never been to City Field, so it'll be fun to go. And plus, I always enjoy I always enjoy ballpark food. I do. I just do it. I don't know why. It's so bad for you, but so good.
It's horrendously bad for you. And by the way, they lie. Yankees. Oh my God, the Yankees lie so much about the calories in the stuff. Like when you see it, like on the board.
Yeah, because like in real life, they're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna drizzle the cheese on.
They lie heinously about it. It's really. Is it illegal? I don't even know how to. I mean, like.
Well, when you have people preparing the food and it's not like automated, they're going to do stuff like pour too much cheese on, or throw too much grease in there with the fries. And
let me give you a for instance. Mm-hmm. So you go to Yankee Stadium, and down the right field line is where the garlic fries are. Oh, yeah. Which I believe are just. They must have been a god.
I mean,
not
a human.
The
garlic,
not a human
you just
that
eat
came
the
up
garlic
with those.
at it,
Oh, it's just unbelievable. But then they pour the cheese on it.
I don't need the cheese. I don't need the cheese with those.
You don't. But it's a nice little touch. But I will tell you, I think the last time I was there, and I actually admittedly have not been to Yankee Stadium in a while. I want to say when I looked up at the board, the fries, and it's not like they give you a small portion. That is a heaping portion of French fries. Smothered in garlic and grease and cheese.
They don't weigh that out on the scale.
I swear to God.
They don't weigh it out on the scale.
I swear to God, it said 440 calories, and I'm like, per fry? I mean, 440 calories. Is that what you're trying to sell me on? Because I'll take 2, if that's the case, and be full on, like, half of 1, and just take the rest home. And reheat them in my air fryer. It's ridiculous.
Eat them on the subway on the way home.
And that wasn't the only thing, too. They lie. You could just tell. You could tell by looking at it like, oh, my God, they're just like blatantly lying. If you're going to lie, just don't put the calories up there.
Yeah, well, they have to.
I know they have to.
It's a law now.
Right. That's the law, except lying about it apparently is not.
Well, you can say this is what it is because when they do that, it's all weighed out. It's all like they might have a third of the fries in this little container. And then put a little bit of cheese on it, but in real life, it's a big glob of cheese. And 10 pounds of fries.
I just do the times 3 theory. So whatever they put up there, I just multiply it times 3, and I say, okay, so if I'm gonna get the garlic fries with cheese on them, it's 1,200 calories, not 400, which seems like a safer bet. And that actually might be underestimating.
Well, you can go with the hot dogs. The hot dogs, I can't lie about that. So, I mean, there's only so much they can do with the hot dog, unless they're injecting fat into it.
Pig lips and cow ass, whatever's in those things. I don't know, but yeah, whatever.
That's the state of the Yankees.
I don't actually eat. I never eat hot dogs at a ballpark. I really don't,
Oh, I
unless
do.
it's Fenway.
I always get one.
If it's Fenway, then I will. But usually I like to get the sausage at Fenway because
I
that's
always
nuts.
get one.
Sausage and peppers at Fenway. Oh my
I
god!
always get at least one hot dog when I'm at a ballpark because there's nothing like those buns that are just like nice and moist and like it's just wrapped in the foil and everything just goes down so easy. It's so good. I love it.
It slides right down the
it does. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Feel like
Right
those
at
hot
your
dog
butt.
eating champions and just like so good. So good.
Yeah.
That
Stop-
I always get that. And what else do I get? I will tend to go like, get some like
I do anytime I can get like a chicken tender and basket of fries thing.
No, see, I'll go
always
get the
get
side
that.
of fries with like, maybe the garlic fries or something along those lines, but I don't typically get anything like any fried chicken.
Yeah.
I won't do that. I'll do the hot dog. I'll do that. Sometimes I'll go and get like the burnt ends or something like that if they have them available at the barbecue area. I'll go there. Some good stuff like that. So
The other thing I like at Yankee Stadium is from NYY is their steak sandwich. That's actually really good. Yeah. It's not cheap. It's like $15,
No.
but that's a good sandwich though.
it's ballpark.
And of course, it's all a la carte, right? So it's $15 just for the sandwich, and then of course you got to get the fries.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's like $22, and you're like, oh yeah, it's good. It's good dinner for my family.
Yeah. I could go to KFC and get a bucket of chicken and 12 sides for $20. But hey, Yankee Stadium, $22 feeds one man.
Yes, it does, barely. All right, so let's get into it. I said before, as we were leaving the last show, that I wanted the Yankees to go 6-3 over this run, this home run.
Hey, well, they're 2-1.
They're 3-3.
Oh, 3-3. Oh,
Talking about the. So there was the White Sox. They played.
I forgot about the White Sox. I was just talking about the Red Sox.
They lost 2 and they won 1, and then they beat the Red Sox.
They swept the Red Sox.
Yeah, twice.
Which was unexpected, but
so then they were 3-2.
Yeah.
Right, and now they just lost to the Kansas City Royals. Like what?
You know what though? The Royals.
This is the kind of team that like beats the Yankees, though. It's like the Rays, like the little dinkers and dunkers, and and that's what the Yankees need, though. They need some of those dinkers and dunkers. Like they need more DJ LeMahieu's out there. That kind of just put the ball in play. Yeah. But this is
why I wanted Marwin Gonzalez so bad in the offseason because he was a guy like that. And
I really truly believe that the shift hurts the Yankees more than it hurts most teams because, for one, they have so many power hitters that they just refuse to hit against the shift. Yeah. And that is a problem. And so I think it works a lot more in other teams' favors to shift on the Yankees because they have Voit and they have Stanton. I mean, they don't have Stanton right now, but they have Sanchez and they have all these big bashers. Even Judge hasn't been really hitting out like against the shift. I mean, they don't really shift as much against him, but like even Gardy and all these guys, they don't hit against the shift at all. And these are guys that should be. Like DJ LeMahieu, I could see him trying to hit against the shift. But like Gleyber Torres doesn't do it. None of these guys did. They just hit into it all the time. And Romine, oh my Lord, talk about like they need a better backup catcher. Granted, he's good. He's good with the pitchers and everything like that. But oh my Lord, he comes up in so many big spots and always strikes out, pops out, and hits into a ground double play.
I think the problem is he's not meant to be coming up in these big spots. Injuries have obviously forced this, but I agree with you.
It happens every year. You got to count on it now.
Oh, of course it does. Especially with a catcher position, you have to count on injuries. I mean, that's why you carry
Sanchez gets injured for at least 2 to 3 weeks every year.
And then you've got everybody's favorite Kyle Higashioka as he's our current backup catcher. There's a couple things I want to talk about. One, to me, you just cannot go off of a 2-game sweep of the Red Sox and then lay an egg against the Royals in the first game. Yeah. I mean, unless they come back and win 3 out of 4.
Playing to your competition and playing poorly.
Yeah. I mean, unless they come and unless they win the next 3 straight games and they go 6-3 on this homestand like you hoped for, then I'm sorry, but it's kind of a failure. And I don't care how many injuries you got. There's still enough talent on this team that they should be able to take 3 or 4 from the Royals.
Oh my God, yeah.
So, and the Royals are not a good team.
No.
They're not a good team. They got beat by Homer Bailey.
I know, that's so bad.
It's really not good. And, Herman actually was not bad last night. He really wasn't. I was a little upset that they took him out. But, Boone's going to Boone. I mean, that's one of our things. Boone is going to Boone. But, he pitched well enough to keep them in the game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the offense has to put more runs on the board against Homer Bailey. You just have to. The other thing I want to talk about is the Clint Frazier impact here.
Yeah.
Because Clint Frazier
I
is
sent you a
hitting
text
the
yesterday.
ball,
I was like, holy cow, dude, your boy's on fire.
and he's hitting the ball like we all hoped maybe he could. And now you have to wonder, is he playing himself onto this roster in a full-time role? And on top of that, if he is, with Bird going down, and with Miguel Andujar eventually coming off of the DL, do you have to heavily consider putting Andujar over at first?
No.
Because defensively, that's an easier position for him to play than third.
Yes. Well, you don't have to throw as much.
Right. And, I would definitely consider that, because right now, Frazier is
horrible.
Yeah, Frazier is working himself into the conversation as a can you actually justify taking Clint Frazier out of the lineup right now?
No, I mean what you would have.
He's one of the few guys hitting.
So what you would have to do, I mean, this is what happens when everybody comes back and healthy. If he's hitting and he continues to hit like this, he plays left.
Yeah.
Hicks plays center.
Yep.
Judge plays right. Stanton is your DH.
Yep.
Luke Voigt, sorry, you're a bench player.
You're a bench player.
And Andujar, you play first.
Yes.
I mean, that's just where it goes. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just how it's got to be. And then when Ellsbury comes back, you're a pinch runner. Sorry. Like if that ever happens, ever, that's just what's going to happen, because they're going to play Hicks. They just signed him to a 7-year deal. They're going to play him. He's going to be your center fielder. He is your best center fielder right now, so he's going to play as far as defensive goes. And Gardy is going to also be a pinch hitter / fourth outfielder, which is
the way it should be.
He shouldn't even be a fourth outfielder. I mean, the guy's batting 190. He's not. He can hit in the clutch occasionally. So
hit in the clutch. I will give him that.
So if you need him to get in a bat late, or you need to have him try and work a walk or steal, he's not going to steal bases for you either. That's the problem. He's always that guy that he doesn't quite have that first step. He just can't quite pull the trigger, and he's always been like that. There was when he was real young, and he could steal 40 bases. It was completely done on speed, not necessarily. And people knew that he wasn't going to run on the first couple of pitches. So, as time went on, now they can hold him at bay, and he's not quite as fast as he used to be. So, it's just They're just in a really rough spot right now with injuries, and I expect it to change. I expect it to get a little better, especially when Hicks comes back. Then your outfield gets a little bit better, especially if you have Frazier over in left. Frazier's not the best left fielder in the world, but he's probably better than Stanton, so you're going to want to keep him in there.
If he's going to hit 340. If he's going to hit 340, you can't keep him out of the lineup.
No, I mean, even if he's hitting 300, if he's going to hit 325 home runs, I mean, you're going to keep him in left field. I mean, Gardy's not going to come close to that. Even if he's batting 270, I mean, Gardy's not going to come close to that. Gardy's going to bat like 240, 230 tops. And Aaron Judge playing right field, he's a Gold Glove caliber right fielder. Plus, he's one of our best hitters.
I mean, I'm so happy that this is happening for Frazier, because he got his chance and he's making the most of it.
Yeah.
That's what you want from guys. When injury happens, and it always does, and you need guys to step up, and especially a guy like this who you did have high expectations for. And look, maybe this is what he can do when he's healthy. I don't want to get too excited about it, but look, he's getting his opportunity. He's making the most of it. So you have to get a little bit excited.
Yeah.
I mean,
he doesn't like the nickname Red Thunder, though.
I know he doesn't.
Why don't you like that? That's a great name.
I don't know.
You're sorry.
How's it going to get better? How's it going to get better?
I don't know. What are you going to go with?
Like the giant ginger, or what are you
he's
looking?
Not giant,
though. I know he's not.
Jacked, but the Jack Ginger.
Yeah, the Jack Ginger. I mean, is that what you want?
No,
that's not better.
Do you
want to? What's his cat's name? Can we work off of his cat's name for his? I mean, we all know how much he loves that damn cat.
You keep talking. I'll find out.
All right. I'm just trying to think what else we could. Maybe because he's so big and brawny, we could call him the Douglas Frazier. Like a Douglas fir.
Oh Jesus, that was terrible.
That wasn't one of my better ones. We were having some fun last night with what would be like John Sterling's Mike Ford home run call, and Lance came up with the best one. He said "driven Ford tough," which was perfect. Mm-hmm. And I was like, nah, he's going to come up with something stupid, though, because that one's way too good. Like, there's no way that he could come up with driven Ford tough. That's a way too good of a home run call for him.
Yeah.
So he's going to come up with something stupid like Mike Ford. He's out of his gourd. It's a 2-run home run.
Yeah.
And the Yankees trail the Royals 16-3. That's gonna be his call.
All I can find right now is I put in Clint Frazier's cat name, and all it does is it say these are the things that popped up is after his concussion last year. Is Clint Frazier is forgetting his cat's names, and it sounds scary.
Oh my God!
After his concussion, I was like, "Whoa, that's not good. That's not good." No. So I don't know. It said I forget his name. Yeah, it doesn't even say. It doesn't even say what his cat's names are, man. I'm sorry. I mean, so it looks like it's not.
I don't care about his nickname. Just keep hitting the ball. Just keep hitting the ball, and you can maintain your status as my favorite player.
No Rob Refsnyder?
Rob Refsnyder's gone. He's not a Yankee. I don't want my favorite player. I mean, otherwise I'm just going to have to stick with McCutchen because I love him.
Yes, you do.
It was such a dream come true for me to see him in as a Yankee uniform. Just even if it was just for a short amount of time, that was just so great. Seeing him in Pittsburgh, no, I didn't want to because I knew he wouldn't be there. Yeah, I knew he wasn't going to stay. If he had stayed,
ponied up.
If he had stayed, if they had signed him to like a similar contract, I would have. Yeah, absolutely, I would have gotten that jersey in a heartbeat.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about the Yankees. Though the bottom line, they need to get healthy and fast because they are in the soft part of their schedule, and this is where they needed to do some work in this part of the schedule, and they are 8-10 coming out of the box. These slow starts for them, whether they're healthy or not, it's a real problem as it gets. Every year.
Then they have a West Coast lineup too, so they're going to the West
right,
Coast,
and those are brutal trips. And they're never good.
The good news is that we're going to get to see Trout because they're going to have a 4-game series starting next week against the Angels. So we're going to get to see Trout. Unfortunately, the games start at 10 o'clock at night, so we won't be seeing Trout a ton because I am not staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning. Sorry. It's not happening.
No, me neither.
I will be shutting the game down at 12 because I need to be in bed. That's just way too late.
Unless it's on a weekend. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean the Thursday game starts at 9. Probably be able to watch that whole game, but we'll see. And then they play the Giants, which is going to be a little bit easier because the weekend 10:15 on Friday night, and then it's 4 o'clock games for the rest of the weekend.
I wonder if Mad Bunny's pitching against them.
There's a 60% chance because they're playing 3 games, so 60% chance.
Let's hope so. I'd like to see him.
Yeah, me too. I haven't been at least one of my fantasy leagues, maybe both. I'm very excited about that, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, we get to face Drew Pomerantz too, because although he'll probably set us up for 15 Ks, one walk. Even though he's not pitching.
By the way, real quick thing too, speaking of former Red Sox, I just want to say that even though the Red Sox look bad right now, I still think they're going to win this division. I really do. I know that this is an ugly championship hangover for this team. I get it. But man, I'm sorry, that lineup is still way too deep and way too good not to produce. And their pitchers, I mean, the big question mark is whether or not it was wise to give Sale that contract. I know.
I said at the beginning, I was super happy that they signed that
I mean,
contract.
I know it's tough because you kind of it was a weird spot for the Red Sox. I mean, they didn't have to give it to him now. I think that's the only thing. I think they could have waited until the end of the season. That being said, I can't throw in the towel on the defending world champions this fast. I just can't do it. I still think that they are going to be a force. And I think once their pitching staff gets healthy, they're a team that can very quickly rattle off like a 10 out of 12 run. And next thing you know, they're right back in it. So I can't go there with them yet. It's way too early for that.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get out of baseball right now and get out of the state of the Yankees and head on over to something that the Bryman likes to call.
Where do you think you're going? I'm going to sort it out.
Swords! I beat me to the punch.
Yeah, you did. All right. So sorts. Hobbs and Roy.
Hobbs and Roy.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw trailer.
Looks pretty entertaining. Way over the top. Like
there's a whole lot of unbelievable going on in that
over
trailer.
The top.
But...
I mean, it's more over the top than the Fast and the Furious movies, seemingly, which is saying something.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, and the Fast and Furious movies, there are a handful that are good. I would say entertaining. Not good, but entertaining. There are several that are bad, but
also accurate.
Yes. And even the ones that are good aren't really, they're just like popcorn flicks. They're just, shoving popcorn in your face. And that's what this is. This is going to be one of those popcorn flicks, but you get two of the best characters. Like you don't have to deal with Vin Diesel talking about his family all the time. You just need Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, Jason Statham, and Jason Statham's sister, and Black Superman, aka Idris Elba, going in there and going bananas and
look at me, I'm Black Superman.
Yeah, like just going after each other. Like this looks like entertainment that I am going to enjoy quite a bit. I expect this to do pretty big numbers at the box office, like 600, 700 million kind of big numbers.
I don't
think it's going to do $1 billion because I think the Fast and the Furious franchise has kind of hit its peak when I can't remember. That wasn't the last movie. There was one before that got $1 billion, and I think it's going to start, kind of coming down. But this is a good way. This is a good one to kind of like to separate the franchise with.
Is this the 9th movie in this franchise?
It might be.
Weren't there 8 of them?
Yeah, it's
I didn't even watch like the last 5 or 6. I'm pretty sure I watched like the first 2.
I don't think I saw the last one. I think I skipped the last one, but I saw the other ones.
But what I think I like about this is that I feel like just based on the trailer alone, you could see this movie completely out of context, not having you could watch this not having watched maybe any of them.
Oh,
it just looks like so I'm actually kind of excited about that. Because I have not been a big fan of the Fast and Furious movies, but this looks entertaining to me. It just looks like a good popcorn movie, and I'm kind of excited to see it. I really cannot believe my work phone is ringing right now. It's Good Friday, people. Have some respect. You know what's funny part? It's not actually anybody from work. It's a spam call. I get so many spam calls on my work phone. It's ridiculous. There's no doubt it's a spam call.
Yeah. On Good Friday.
On Good Friday. Do you people realize what happened today? It's not cool.
Ridiculous.
It's getting to be goddamn ridiculous. All right.
Say the Lord's name in vain after that?
I just did, yeah.
You did. All right, so yeah, I am really looking forward to that movie. I mean, there is a lot of other movies that I'm looking forward to. I mean, obviously, Endgame comes out in a couple weeks. I'm going to see it not the first weekend, but I'll probably see it the weekend after. My son's birthday is next weekend, so that's going to be.
I'm going to try
up all of that. So
I'm going to try and see it first weekend. Because I asked the girls, I'm like, so do you guys want to see it? And they're like, yeah, we do. And I'm like, okay, I need to warn you, it is a long movie. And so my oldest daughter was like, she was like, how long? She's like 3 hours. I'm like, yeah. She's like
3 hours.
Okay. I'm like, so, and then it's funny though. What's that?
Bring your catheters.
Oh my God, seriously. Or like a 2-liter bottle or something to fill up. Because that's going to be a long time. I honestly think, I don't know if it was, we talked about this or maybe I talked about it with our friend Tim Callahan, but I honestly think if you have a 3-hour movie that there needs to be like an intermission. Yeah, there just should be. The
bathrooms would be so packed, though.
I know, it would be a nightmare, but depending on the movie theater, if you've got enough of them, like if you go to like a, like an AMC or even like the Rave one in Manchester, there's a ton of bathrooms.
The crazy
in there.
thing too is that Kevin Feige came out and said there are going to be no breaks to take a leak in this movie.
Yeah,
like there is not a time that you're going to be able to do that because I don't know if anybody has that app. It's called Run P. And basically, they come up with times on the app that tell you when's a good time to go to the bathroom. And they give you a little synopsis of what happened during that time. So they give you like kind of the dialogue that happened. So you can read it while you're taking a leak. And then you come back in and you know exactly what happened. And you didn't miss anything. It's a great app. They got to the point where they can charge people now. I don't know if it's still working or not because now, ever since I started drinking water at the theater and stopped drinking soda, I haven't had to pee during a movie. Like,
really?
During the movie. Like, yeah.
Really? That's weird because I would think that
No.
Water would run through you quicker.
No, the soda does.
And
for some
soda.
reason. Yeah, soda. I would have to go at least.
Probably because your body's like, get this crap out of me as soon as
probably.
possible, please.
So I drink. This is my staple. Go to the theater. I get my water, my big bottle of water because it's
Big Dasani?
Yep, big Dasani. I get a junior popcorn, and then I get Twizzlers. That's it. This one's going to be 3 hours, though, so I'm going to need something else because those Twizzlers usually last me up until the third act, and then they're done. I can't have it last me halfway through the movie.
You're gonna need some sustenance.
I'm going to need something. That's
Yep. Don't you just do what I do? You just go to the dollar store, you load up on whatever you're getting, and just stuff it in your pockets.
I want to make sure these movie theaters get some money. I want to make sure that they stay thriving.
You're a much better person than I am. I don't care about that kind of crap.
Plus,
I'm there to see the movie, but I'm gonna feed myself.
I have the Cinemark card too, so I get 20% off. So.
Oh, okay, I understand that. Yeah, I have the Cinemia app, which is a complete and total nightmare, which I will not be renewing.
Oh, really? It's bad now.
It's a nightmare. I think it's actually a scam, to be honest. So, you would be appalled at the amount of Twitter complaints that they get. In fact, I had to threaten them the other day by saying I was going to report them to the Better Business Bureau for them to actually respond to me. And then they didn't, and then they fixed my account and they took because there was a charge. So what had happened was. I went to a movie at it was when we went to see Shazam like 2 weeks before it came out.
Yeah.
So, and it was like a 7:00 movie. So we get to the theater, and you have to check in. It's just like with Movie Pass too. Like you always have to check in. Mm-hmm. So I had to check in, and when I went to, it was like this movie has already passed. You've missed your check-in window. And I'm like, what? Apparently, it had me going to that movie at 7 a.m. And I'm like, first of all, when I selected the ticket for this movie, I did not select 7 a.m. I selected 7 p.m. I said, I don't even know
if a movie theater. 7 a.m.?
That's what I actually said to them. I actually kept going back and forth with them on DMs in Twitter. Like, I said to them, if you can find me a movie theater that is open at 7 a.m., I will pay this stupid membership misuse fee. Yeah. I said, if you do not, I said, I am not paying this fee. But then that was in direct messages. But then on Twitter, like on the live feed, I kept going after them and threatening the Better Business Bureau because it was a scam. And then they came back to me and they're like, we've removed the fee from your. And I'm like, yeah, you're damn right you removed that fee. Mm-hmm. You don't want any of that. Because I'm the kind of clown that will go to the Better Business Bureau and report that kind of thing. I'm that guy. I am absolutely that guy. I use social media to my advantage as much as humanly possible. As you know, I just did it the other day with my faucet. Mm-hmm. With my buy it for looks, buy it for life Moen faucet that I love. Funny. It was a funny video, though, wasn't it?
Check it out. If you guys haven't watched it, check it out. Go to the @the_Bry_man and go check out what he posted. Was it about a week ago? No, several days ago.
It was a couple days ago.
5 days ago.
Yep. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, it was effective because they DM'd me within an hour or so. And within an hour after that, they were already sending me replacement parts for it.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
It did, though. I'll tell you what. Listen, people. I'm not one of those people who will ever complain to like a waiter or waitress if my food is cold. I'm not that person. I hate that kind of stuff. I don't like when people do that. Mm-hmm. I think that's terrible. I just, and I'm one of those people who tips 20% almost no matter what. And I don't like complaining to like service people, but I will tell you on Twitter, it's fair game out there, baby. If you can use Twitter to your advantage to get to, if you feel like you've been, I'm not saying do it just, for the fun of it. If you have a legit reason.
If you've been wronged.
This feels like a lawyer commercial. Go to the law offices of Moore, Christina, and Callahan. Now, if you've been wronged and you have an opportunity to make it right on Twitter, I think you should do it. You should do it. It works. Every time I've had an issue with this dumb Cinemia app or with Moen or even Dunkin' Donuts, you complain to them. Nobody wants to get called out on social media. It's a bad look.
It's out there for everyone.
It's out there, and people can pile on. If they have a complaint, they will pile on. Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you one thing. One thing's for sure.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works every time.
I disagree with Ron because I would say 80 to 90% of the time it works every time. I don't think I've had an issue that I haven't been able to address if I've made a complaint on social media. It works, man. It does work. You can get stuff.
It does. It does. I've seen a lot of people.
But you know
do
what,
that
though?
on Facebook and Twitter.
Here's the other thing, though. In both of those cases with Cinemia and with Moen, I was 100% in the right. I mean, I had every right to complain about both of those things. And you know what? Both of those companies, they did the right thing. Cinemia, though, they still got to work on some.
Took a little while. Took a little while for Cinemia to do it. They were kind
of. No, it took them a while. That was a few weeks. That battle went on for a few weeks because I refused to pay that $1. It was a membership misusage fee, and they charged you for the full price of the movie ticket, which was like $13. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. I'm not paying it.
Cool.
Sorry. Hobbs and Shaw in theaters this summer.
All right, let's get on our way out. Thank you guys for watching, listening. Whoever did, and whoever didn't, we still like you too. Remember, you can catch us anywhere podcasts are played. You can go to www.sportsandsorts.libsyn. That's libsyn.com. You can go to facebook.com/Shane and the Bryman. You can go to @ShaneandBryman on Twitter. That's @ShaneandBryman. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Shane and the Bryman. We're not very cohesive with all of our social media stuff. And then if you go to, YouTube, you can just type in sports and sorts, whether it's the ampersand or not, and it should come up. You can click that subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified whenever we go live, because it does change a little bit from time to time. We're both family men. We both have schedules that we have to abide by, and sometimes things have to change. So you want to be notified, hit that bell, and I'll let you know. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter @EinhornIsFinkel.
You can find me on Twitter at @the_Bry_man,
where he is fighting with everyone and everything
for free stuff. That's not really what it is. But...
It's either that or he's yelling at Dolphins fans, or
right, my own kind, or Patriots fans, whatever.
You tend to leave the Spurs fans alone.
Why would I? The Spurs do everything right. It's like the one beautiful constant in my life in sports. Why would I mess with them?
Well, the Yankees have won a lot of championships too, but you still.
But the Yankees still could drive me nuts though. Like the Spurs almost could do no wrong. They really can't. They're just a model organization. They run themselves from top to bottom perfectly.
Yeah, it helps when you have Pop.
Pop and RJ and Pop and Buford. And Buford. I mean, that's a.
Yeah, that's a good combo right there.
When you can keep guys together like that, and you have a model, it just works.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for our show. Thank you guys for watching, listening, however you took it in. We really appreciate it. We'll be back again on Monday, most likely. I'm going to be going to the Yankee game tomorrow.
And I'll be going to the Mets game on Monday.
Yeah, and I don't know what the deal is with tomorrow. It seems like it's going to be raining quite hard in the morning. It's supposed to stop around 1 or 2, but I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's going to get canceled or postponed or, just pushed back a little bit. It could be a long day.
Kind of sucks. It's like the last thing you want to do is make that trip and then have it.
I do. And the good news is we did get, so we do a bus trip. Not a bus trip. It's not we do a big group trip. Yeah. With a friend of mine who gets tickets. And this year he opted in for the Jim Beam room with the tickets so that we could get into the Beam. So
then you'll be fine.
There's shelter.
Shelter and alcohol. Yeah, you're fine.
Well, I want to be with my son. So.
Right. But there's still alcohol.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'll be. I'm not gonna. I don't typically participate in that when I have my son with me. Just me and my son, because.
Yeah,
I gotta. There's a lot of people.
I'm with you. I rarely drink in front of my kids.
It's just like I can't. I gotta make sure that I got a good eye on him, and plus he's got the stomach bug right
only in the house. Only in the house. Yes. I'm not gonna go out like anywhere where I would have to drive. I'm not.
Yeah, where only the dogs are in danger. That's
right, because my kids have unfortunately bore witness to those shenanigans. But outside the house, no, I'm much more responsible. I mean, like we went to Newport the other day, and my wife and I we went to the Red Parrot and we had dinner, and it was awesome. And we both had I had a beer. She had her Malibu Bay Breeze, and that was that. And there was one, and that was it. I had one. When in Rome, I had an Narragansett when I was out there. I will tell you, Narragansett is a bad beer, but in Newport, for whatever reason, it's
like Red Stripe when you're in Jamaica.
It just tastes better. It tastes better for some reason.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again Monday. Peace out.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Yeah, happy Easter.
Stay classy, Planet Club. Easter Bunny. I'm going to shoot that Easter Bunny.
What?
Oh, was that on? Sorry.
It's all right.